Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend, where today we're going to commit some violence. I think this is a really good idea in a long-term strategic sense, because of the fact that what we really want to do is kill red. Getting brown out of the way relatively quickly is probably pretty smart, both because it allows pink to focus a little bit, and also because, generally speaking, if you see this thing happening, you wanna do your best to get on side with that player, right? And fighting a common war, taking cities from a common enemy, probably the absolute best way to generate positive approval. So, we still have some other concerns though. First of all, just like victory. I mean, there's nothing wrong with pushing for a science victory, but it is turn 87. And we are not even halfway into Era 5. So it feels like we're going to have to go real fast to make that science victory happen. Now, I'm not saying that that's infeasible. And after we finish Endless Mechanisms here, we go for Imperial funding. We're pulling 11 titanium out of the ground every single turn. Like, yeah, this could happen. I suppose the other option is we go on a real conquering spree through Brown's territory and then through Red's territory, and we start thinking about the potential for an expansion victory. 55, was it? 57 regions. 57. It feels... it's so many. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I think for the moment, those are our only realistic victory possibilities, right? Because our faction quest is stuck on a thing that's going to be extremely difficult to execute. Still no vaulters on the market. We have a city with an open hero slot yet. Okay, we should probably just buy somebody to go in there. Slato Mosipakwa is like fine. This one's level 5 already. What's your allocation? Oh, wow. Yeah, alright. Welcome aboard. Already level 5, and with no misspent skill points means we can just jump right up to here. That's like... it's actually really great. Okay. What else? So we're doing positioning stuff right now. We're working with our Urkins. I have not bought all the upgrades, and we probably should. So we have the movement thing here, which I should have bought earlier, and I just like spaced on. I don't know why we don't have this yet. But we should definitely fix that. And then this removes penalties due to winter, which I don't think is a big deal. But we have some blood crystal, but not enough to actually use it, but also not enough for it to be like super valuable on the market. So I think this is a fine way to dump it, basically. The spices, I really would like to run a booster. Can we buy some? Okay, yeah, it's totally trivial for us to have enough to do both. So we would need 60 in total. Because we should absolutely have a spice booster running, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and unlock those. This is not directly relevant right now, but later. The movement bonus for all of our Urkins, definitely relevant immediately. In fact, would have been really nice to have last turn even. And with that, I suppose we're just pushing forward. We do have some dollars. Probably ought to go into stuff like this. That's a thing I would really like to get done. And then, yeah, we have a Quicksilver. How quickly are we pulling wine right now? 4 per turn. Gonna turn into 3 per turn? Okay. So I was trying to decide there whether we want to build the Luxury Intensifier this way or this way, and I think that makes it pretty obvious. So let's burrow over to here, I guess. And then we'll luxury intensifier on that. Actually, I'm realizing I don't know how luxury intensifiers interact with the improved extractors technology. It may well be the case that building a luxury intensifier over that wine wouldn't actually do anything because it may not count as a normal extractor, and as such its output may not get doubled. I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. This would be a good opportunity to test that. So, are we thinking about the declaration this turn, or do we want to wait until next turn? This is the thing that I had been back and forth on. I'm pretty sure that we want to wait, because if we wait till next turn, now that you have +2 movement, you can just hit, right? Oh, I had to pick them up, but 1, 2, that's not cliffed? No, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is cliffed. So no, we still won't be able to hit next turn even with the bonus movement. Because I do want to, like, surprise them, but maybe that's not worth waiting on. Let's have a look at what Pink is willing to pay. Do we have trade routes? Are trade routes running to Pink mostly? They are. Okay, so that being the case, agreements would not be out of line. And in fact, a research agreement might be a really good idea. And I'm assuming, given the shortness of this bar, yeah, we're not even close to being able to get an actual technology from them, but I think a research agreement would be a really good idea. And then, can I just get like a little something in terms of resources? Okay, well, this is a very little something. How much mithrite will they give us? Is it like a tiny, tiny amount? It sure is. Well, you know, we gotta get some at some point. We are going to need at least a little bit of mithrite, I'm sure. Yeah, this will just have to do. All right, let's take it. Let's take it and make the thing happen. So do we see any mithrite in Brown's territory? Remarkably, no. There's a Hyperion deposit, but we are not poised to gain access to any mithrite, even if this war goes maximally successfully. That's wild. So I'm assuming that attacking from this angle will include the garrison, or the golem camp, but no, it looks like it will not, in fact. So let's just do that, because that seems like a pretty good attack. Let's just not bring you in. I reckon we can auto-resolve this, right? Yeah, okay, nobody took any meaningful damage. Do you have movement still? Okay. So that is a stone sentinel with 118 damage and a golem rider. Okay, so I was gonna say maybe we can just harass the settler there with our scary ghosts, because they have you know, stats that are bad but good enough to fight a settler. But with any actual troops at all, I am less confident that that's a good idea. So let's see. That was only a single point of movement for you. Yeah, I mean, let's head down here so you can follow suit. Oh, actually, yeah, this is probably a good use for the ghosts. Somebody needs to stop this volcano former. Okay, there we go. Just dismantle that real quick. A little bit of industrial sabotage. Now, is industrial sabotage always a moral good? Who can say? Who has an answer to such a question? What do we have the ability to build a thing over a spice extractor here. Do I want to do that? Maybe. Plow factory, wood. These are all vulcanized? Yeah. So it would only affect these 3 tiles. So it may end up being worth it. It's not the move right now for sure. And then, boy, what else do we want to build here? We could probably build. We could just build more troops. I don't know. I guess we'll make more determinations in a second here. Now, see, this is a little tricky because of the fact that they have these couple units in place. I think we have to be like a little more cautious than we would otherwise be because I don't want them gathering up with other enemies. But I guess it doesn't really, like, it's not going to affect our approach too much. Hopefully they'll just perish in defense of Indortara or something. So let's see. We should be able to take that pretty easily. We can hit this before there are any reinforcement type movements from Brown. We'll leave Nathan for Fakir to pick up, or not even Fakir probably. Right? We're gonna burrow the other Urkin down into this region next turn. So yeah, this'll get grabbed as we move all of our Urkins into place and everything, and then we hopefully we can just shear a lot of this stuff off real fast because I really want pink focusing on red as much as possible. So with 2k dust at the end of the turn here, it feels like we probably ought to buy some buildings out. I don't even actually know what all I want to build. Oirenth is probably the place where we ought to do the national arena. I'm going to leave everybody on influence here for one more turn, just to give us a good base to push toward the next era from. So let's see, I want to make sure I run over there and do that. This needs to be managed quickly. This has to go first. Okay, let's keep an eye on this as we end the turn. I want to commit this battle at the town first and lock up as much of the area around here as possible. Endless Mechanisms finishes on the same turn that an eclipse starts, which means we are in for a little bit of a bonanza if we can find time to actually search all this stuff. Dortara gained a unit there, although it lost 30 defense, so it was emeralded and is no longer. All right, so that'll lock all that stuff up. Let's pull you up, have you approach here, but you are not going to reclaim the region because Khazar is going to reclaim this region. Oh, that tile has a ruin in it. Okay, this will work. All right, and I can't remember. Does doing that eat their movement for the turn? No. Okay, brilliant. So yeah, we can just come down here and have lunch right away. Oh, except, right. Well, I can siege right away at the very least. I did spend my action point, that's fair. Okay, so now that we've got all of those important combat moves committed, we can just take a second here. The Dustwater, the wine, and the gold have all ended. We can probably fix some of that. Within the next 15 turns, get 2 more strategic extractors within your empire. I wonder if it will count strategic extractors that are gained via conquest. We are going for Imperial funding next. That seems wise. Looks like we're not seeing any retaliatory troop movements from Brown, although part of that could just be that this area is locked due to the attack, because they certainly have troops nearby. Amaroya's all vulcanized. There's a hydromiel deposit somewhere. We should probably get the hydromiel. I am absolutely not going to build a luxury intensifier on top of pixie blood. Seems like a terrible use of resources. Okay, so is there anything else that... Yeah, actually, there's a ton of stuff. There's a huge amount of places where we need to do a thing. I guess we can hold off on a lot of that for the moment, because we should probably resolve this so that we know how many troops we're going to need to refill losses. Because, yeah, I was going to say, they definitely have reinforcements in the area. All right, let's just run this manually. It's entirely possible that they will not choose to actually use any of that reinforcement stuff, that they'll just let the city fall because the city's going to fall, and then use their other armies for retaliation, which I do not, for the record, think is a bad plan. We'll see. Y'all may as well just be right here. There we go. Let's just get that big morale boost. Okay, they want to do this. Very interesting. I'm really surprised by that. So that makes the Golem Rider #1 most toppest priority. Can't have a unit with high movement or high initiative on the enemy team for any longer than absolutely necessary. So how much? You have 6 move. You are going to get an archer. All right. Oh, or you're just not going to even try. I suppose that's a possibility. I'm pushing the demons for the reinforcement pads as quickly as we can here. Uh-oh, spying is occurring. And of course, all the units coming in off the reinforcement pads now are too high initiative to be stopped. Out of curiosity, purple decreasing diplomatic cost. So that could be an actual decrease in diplomatic cost, or it could be I am decreasing the cost of performing aggressive spy actions, which I think is probably more likely to be the case. That's fine. You can aggressively spy on me if you must. So yeah, you can fly to here. Yeah, something like this. Again, a fair amount kind of depends on how the golems act. Wow. Just run over there in 181, huh? Okay, so we have crushed the fortification. Should be easy enough to put this one down. The other one honestly might survive because it's going to take these 2 attacks just to get through the extra HP. I do not ever need you to attack. I would love it if you just really focus on healing. Also, we need to move the Marines off of the reinforcement panels. We need more arrows. So the good news is, of course, that those were the last reinforcements. My poor Kekators. But yeah, basically we're going to need a whole lot more frontline troops. Not a big surprise. That's, the infantry are the ones who die. So we're going to have a fair number of cities focused entirely on solving that particular problem. Archers are not moving off of the reinforcement panels like they're supposed to be. units are supposed to prefer to move off of those spaces as much as possible. Weird. I mean, whatever. It didn't actually matter here, I don't think, but... That's not a thing you're supposed to have to micromanage. Okay, so that makes my life a lot easier that they just kind of like gave up their reinforcement armies in that way. Oh, y'all aren't even all upgraded. Okay, well that should be fixed. I know that's like a lot of resources and stuff. Just go ahead and help ourselves to some of this. And yeah, since they brought all those units in as reinforcements to that battle, it means we don't have to worry about stragglers running around in our backline, picking stuff off. Level up anything in Therat for some money. That's interesting. Do we want to run down and claim Utanla? Yes, I think Utanla is our next target. Mathanir is more vulnerable to pressure from pink. I think we can let them do some of that. You may as well grab this real quick while you're here. Oh hey, we got the Ghost Force ring. So we can have a stealthy army. Okay. You'll get your stuff done next turn. So Brown's got a fair amount of territory in the overall. Let's get... The current demon design uses strategics. Let's maybe, we're talking about a serious downgrade in offensive potential here, but let's go ahead and swap y'all to dust axes. You know, a military weapon made of dust. Gosh, it takes forever to build these units. Very, very costly. How do we do in the capital? Four turns? I mean, it's faster. It's not much faster. We are going to need some bodies. And we probably are not going to need a huge amount of influence right this second. So I think we can do this with most of the cities. Yeah. Okay. Imperial funding comes down in a single turn. Our income is going to be really screwy for a while. It's just sort of an unfortunate natural side effect of conquering, because it's going to mean that our trade routes are recalculating every single turn. It's annoying, but it's not any worse than annoying. And out of curiosity, I don't need to eliminate Brown from the game. I just need to... Okay, we can do better. I guess maybe we do need to eliminate them from the game, because I want Pink to no longer be running troops around down here. Like, the thing about the AI, right, is that they do not divide their attention very well. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would be a good idea to really focus on their removal. Interesting. The necrophages lost a city. Is that a city lost in combat, or is that a trade? No, they're actually at war with the Bikera. Okay, cool. This is one of those situations where we can form a power block that will probably be relatively solid. I love having common foes. I think that games and fiction and stuff tend to overestimate the common foe effect. It is a way of getting people to cooperate sometimes, but my experience in real life has been that relationships founded on having a common foe are incredibly transient, very fragile. All right, So we'll take these cities. The rest of us are headed to Utanla. And I mean, I may as well pass 2 units here into the main army. Alright, Costrian doesn't quite get to participate. Oh, I didn't make sure that these units were going to get to participate either, because they were supposed to be in range, but I did not actually move them into range. Well, is what it is. Our spy just got to level 2. Alright, I mean, obviously... Oh, weird. They chose not to use the settler as a reinforcement. That's interesting. There's an army that we didn't see. Quite a large army within reinforcement range of Sormel. So that's one we're going to want to resolve manually. Yeah, I guess let's get on that. So this could cost us potentially a pretty large number of lice if we don't manage it right. You have all of the movement, but sadly not enough initiative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we can attack. We can attack in melee here. Yeah, this is interesting. And of course, the reinforcements have just enough initiative that we can't prevent them from getting in. And actually, they're going to prevent us from getting to the. They're going to prevent us from getting to the hero, which is kind of a bummer. I think it's fine though. Actually going to intentionally run one of you up here. You're going to go for that. This is the cult being eliminated? Yep. Okay. So Pink now owns the cultist city, which is potentially dangerous. We do have to keep an eye on what's going on with Pink. They could overtake us potentially. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah, fortifications doing some really frustrating work for them here. And literally everything that comes in off of the reinforcement panels has just enough initiative to not be vulnerable to any other attacks. Not be vulnerable to pinning. That really is annoying. Fortunately, there's no version of this where they can wear through the Urkin. Like, we're not in any danger of losing. It's just going to cost us rather more lice than I was hoping. Here we can lock this unit up if we want. Not sure if I care, honestly. At this point, since it's just a stone sentinel. I should probably care. Alright, that works just fine. I mean, for the most part, the lice are not actually dying. And they will heal pretty carefully if we're careful with, or heal pretty quickly, rather, if we are careful with them. So maybe we can just maintain 4 of them. Okay, and managed to clip another reinforcement army, one that we didn't even see. 5 turns, really. Can I break off one? Yeah, it's not actually letting me. I guess I can't detach these lice from the army. That's a shame. Because I don't actually want this, obviously, to get flipped like that. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the flyers here for the purpose of dismantling this thing. The Urkin will have to stick around for a turn while they get into position, but then they can handle the job. And that'll give the healing some time to occur. Yeah, that's not so bad. You should definitely just catch up, although I guess actually we should... Ooh, 20 Palladian. Not a bad prize at all. Let's go ahead and fight this, and I am going to do it manually just so that nothing silly happens with our archers, because, you know, militia are not terrible troops. They actually, they can do some damage if you're not smart. That said, all of the archers in this army have 4 range, remember, because of the hero skill, so... Apologies if me adjusting my headphones this close to the mic is loud, but I have so much hair now. Okay. We do not need to start the battle on the reinforcement tiles. They'll have 3 movement. I mean, I want the morale, but also let's be smart. And yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to say. Really annoying that we always do very nearly all of the fortification in damage on the initial shot. Okay. Pretty low impact there. So obviously we can hit Costrian right away here. I am gonna not move, I think. Well, no, we can move to here. It's fine. I just want to make sure I'm not ending my turn on a volcanic tile. And you should also ensure that you are doing that. Okay, and from there, oh yeah, we have a lot of important builds going on. Oh, also, yeah, all of the Imperial fundings now need to become a thing, need to become actually funded. I guess here's as good a place to start as any. We have the resources to do 5 of these right up front. So our largest cities exploiting the largest number of tiles are definitely the highest priority here. Most of my cities are not that big. The cities that we took from the Kapaku are going to be high priority for this because they're going to have the extra exploitation space of the Golem camp. So we're definitely going to want to buy out some stuff. Yeah, actually buying out deep generators makes a lot of sense, I think. The newest cities can get rushed deep generators. All right, using the resources we found in that ruin. This city could just do one of those. That would be fine. Yeah, honestly, Emaroya is pretty good, I think. A pretty good place for some of this. And we'll let the rest... We don't need to assign the other one immediately, I don't think. Oh, you don't even have... Okay, hold on a second. We'll just buy the sewers. This too, I suppose. And only 44 dust this turn. Well, okay, our Empire approval status has been tanked really badly by the new cities. We picked up a lot of low approval population. It's fine. We'll be okay. All right, yeah, you go get that. Okay. I'm gonna have the Urkin run out of the way here and grab some of these ruins up real fast. Okay, maybe not that one. It turns out to be really awkward to get to from here. Oh yeah, because as always, there's a cliff. All right, so pink took Dutharad. we can probably let Pink handle this. We'll just sort of scoop up from the bottom here and clean all this stuff up. And you are, yeah, you're exactly where you need to be. We still have to do some research. I am very pleased with our research rate here. Probably we could pick up Signal Corps. That'd be a reasonable thing to grab right now. Yeah. All right, let's get this done quickly so that we can turn everybody's sights together onto the more significant enemy. Oh, we're even negative now. Harsh stuff. Actually, you know what might be interesting to do with the Urkin? Now that I'm thinking about it, we might even have a better play than the one that I was thinking about. Okay, so let's lock that in. You, okay, you can just barely reach. So, what I was thinking is that we would just run and catch up. But maybe it's better, because there's so much open territory over here, maybe it's better to do a burrow and emerge. The danger there is that if Brown has any significant amount of military force over there, we could end up losing the Urkin. Yeah, and like they still need healing time. I think we'll do this in a slightly slower way. Can you really not just move? Oh, yeah. Cliffs, you know? Always cliffs. We spawned an avenging army. I don't want to... the presence of that avenging army makes my move to the volcano former impossible. That's actually incredibly annoying. Here's what we can do. We can move up to them. We don't need to burn the volcano former this turn. I am going to include everyone, but we're going to intentionally keep the lice out of the fight. This is a fight that is going to be, you know, dominated by the Urkin. Where is the third ended? Nope. Not trying to click outside the battle, just trying to collect some stuff at the edge of the screen. Oh. Yes, it somehow had laid them in the same space, which is a thing that cannot happen. Okay. Run back and take cover. And then, yeah, the rest of this is pretty much just have at 'em. Hey, what a surprise. On a 1-to-1 level, I generally expect Haunts to trade favorably with just about anything, with the possible exception of some Kazanji. Haunts are definitely one of the higher statted neutral units, or minor faction, I should say, units. Okay, we did it. So yeah, you'll just have to get over here and start the fire next turn. That's fine. We have the resources for that. We have the time, which is pretty important as far as resources go. Parian, you know, Parian would not be a terrible place to have an Imperial funding up. Okay, we are going to have so much science output. It's going to be wonderful. Oh, also, right, sorry. Part of the problem here is that the boosters are not running because I was like, we could probably fix those on the market. And then I just didn't do that. Here's a problem. I don't have any money because of how screwy things have been. And also, there's not even enough wine on the marketplace to get the... Okay. Well, maybe we're not going to fix our approval. Because the amount of wine we need to pop a booster is going to keep rising like pretty seriously here, pretty quickly. Maybe you don't need to be in the front. Okay, they're bringing in additional units from elsewhere. as ever, we are playing a rousing game of kill the cavalry unit. And of course, it goes without saying, the archer here, who is being pinned by this, by the militia, is the only archer on the table who is slower than the militia are. No, I'm sorry, not the only one. All right, you run to there. Super frustrating. All of this, like, oh, you almost got him stuff is really, really annoying. Yeah, we're losing units because all of my units do everything in their power to do 99% of the job at all times. Okay. Another city fallen. So, the shortest path to mechanical exhibitionist, from what I have, is just start at the bottom, right? So you could like cross from here, but there's no way across from Lord of the Trance to anything else. And I don't think that's going to happen before the game ends, frankly. So we're just going to take plus 15 raw damage on every unit in this army, because ranged heroes are phenomenal. Nope, not what I did. Okay. As a wild click there. Just kind of ran off without me. I mean, the hero will get to search this next turn. I don't need to be in a hurry on that. You should definitely search this out. And then also this one. I believe that, Urkins are not heroes, and so they do not get the bonus hero XP for searching ruins, but very little reason not to have them do the search. I'm not gonna turn our army around during the war, obviously. So out of 6 searches, 3 of them completely failed. That is so much worse than expected value. That's wild, honestly. Okay. So everybody else over here is acting. You are... oh, interesting. You do not, in fact, need a market. So they did have access to the central market tech. They just weren't using it in most of their cities. Seems odd. Yeah, and it looks like they functionally have little to no defense here. So we're going to gain another 18 population worth of cities really quickly. And there's nothing we're really in a hurry to get to. Let me manage this really quickly just so I don't forget about it. I actually want to come down here, grab the ruin, and then turn around and burn out the other thing. Just to make sure we get this ruin in time. Alright, it is nice to have a couple of little auxiliary forces like this. It's sign a truce in the next 10 turns, you know? That seems likely. Alright, I think it's time for you to start making your presence felt in these battles. Too much blood is getting spilt on my side of the war. Khazar is ready to rumble. Can Khazar... yes, Khazar does have the movement necessary to be the one who actually engages here. And if we don't take round, Pink is going to, so... we got 110, yeah, we're just... I did not destroy... what? I mean, I took an Urkin from them like 1,000,000 years ago. They cannot possibly still be cross about that one, can they? I mean, they could be cross about it, but they shouldn't be sending me messages about it. Alright, you're just gonna get in here and try to grab that settler. What is next? We only need a couple more technologies before we move up. We don't need cargo docks this game, certainly. This stuff is going to be really hard to build, and I don't know that it's honestly worth it. Fortification on cities. You know what? Endless recycling. Endless recycling is totally worth getting. I need to build out my cities, some of my cities, most of my cities, a little bit more before it's actually good, but we should certainly be using it. Okay. We can start further. Oh no, these are brown. Yeah, the orange deployment zone versus the brown deployment zone on green and gray ground. It's a difference that is somewhat difficult to make out. Here, let's do something a little bit more like this. Alright. Because obviously I have strong feelings about this archer. And then the rest of you kind of do whatever. Ow. 158. Okay. Let's just withdraw you. Yeah, honestly, we don't need quite so much melee here. Okay, now this is a little awkward. We're just not going to be able to stop that volcano former. If we want to stop this one, we have to leave some pretty critical troops behind to do so. That said, the city probably... Okay, this is not actually volcanic. The attack on Mathanir probably doesn't need the Urkin, so we can have the Urkin run over here next turn and be the disruptor. Or I guess it can just be you. Yeah, that's fine. You totally have that range. Okay. And so this is even the part where we could just take a peace treaty. I'm sure they're way into Truce Town. They would give us Lodera, but not anything else. Interesting. All right, well, we'll take Mathanir by force, and then we'll see how they're feeling about that. Like, there's sort of two factors at play with a city trade. It's both how afraid of you they are, but also how much they can afford to lose the city. And so that's why you actually see their reluctance to trade cities go up as the war goes on, because each city becomes more and more precious to them. But we don't necessarily have to engage in any kind of trade here. It does look like they are trying a counter push, but they're trying it on pink instead of us, which is, you know, just great news, really. So there is now a Vaulter hero on the market, but with only one skill point that's actually spendable in a good place here, we're certainly not we're not realistically any closer to that goal. There is a sense in which she is closer to the goal, but what I mean is we are going from a place where we cannot, if we hire her, we're going from a place where we definitely cannot accomplish the goal to a place where we definitely cannot accomplish the goal before game ends. So, okay. This should be sufficient. Please don't bother to build any reinforcements in Mathanier. Oh, they sure did. I mean, it's fine. We can just fight 3 units and potentially a hero. It shouldn't be a big deal. But also, I mean, there's no reason that the Urkin can't lead the attack, I suppose. Oh no, never mind. There totally is. The Urkin literally cannot get in position to do that. Alright, so we attack here. You step up to there. Just break this thing down. Interesting. They would take... we'll see. We'll see. Okay. First of all, they do have reinforcements at the Golem camp. I mean, we know what this is, right? Here, I'll include you. We can split the XP down. 23 for everybody. Honestly, that's way more than I was expecting. For just chasing a settler. One Claw has shrugged off the black spot. Dearth of Dust is annoying. Alright, let's resolve this battle. Okay. That's right. There's that weird thing where sometimes an army can act as a representative of a city, even if I needed to siege the city first, so that there was no possibility of retreat mechanically. Oh, hi. Well, now, isn't your presence over here just fascinating? So 140 dust and even more dust. May as well grab the conflux. And this tile is not volcanic. Yeah, okay. Nor is this one. This one is, though. The coloration, it's a little tricky to tell. This one's fine, though. Okay. So, Mathanir's mine. There's no way they're getting out of that. They're, like, just desperately settling over here to try to be left with something. I don't know that that is a real strategy, frankly. Okay, all that stuff's getting done. Let us do some building. Let's teleport some finished units to Amaroya. Did anybody else finish building a unit? No, okay. Yeah, this is a fine place for some Imperial funding. In Onderin, probably the thing we ought to build is just more burrows, honestly. Reach up toward the good stuff over here. And in Indortara, we are 2 titanium short of more Imperial funding. That's definitely fixable. And then research. So we need 1 more? 2 more techs still. Well, we're getting a fair amount of science out of highway outposts. If we think we're really going for a science victory, then obviously that dials up the value of the large-scale aquatic center. But it may be the case that just building the caravanserai everywhere and getting 1 extra trade route into each city is a pretty comparable amount of science that doesn't require us to pay any titanium for it. Yeah. Okay. I would much rather have Khazar be the one to actually launch this attack. I don't know, there's probably something to be said for archers up front with high speed, high movement cavalry as the reinforcements instead of the other way around. But whatever, commit. And I mean, do I wanna stomp you? Yeah, let's just pin you real quick. I don't want that thing running into... Great, I'm super happy about that. I don't want this army running down to like Aranak and just reclaiming it, making things all complicated. I'm not interested in this. I didn't actually say it, I'm realizing, and I probably should have, but I do think that the offer of the alliance with Pink was like definitely not worthwhile. We don't want to give them that kind of technology. Pink is way ahead of us on science, and I really, really, really don't want to create a situation where they could potentially pressure us on the science victory. I could maybe have looked into the peace offer from Purple a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to deal with them, I don't think. Okay. So they'll probably just retreat on that, is my guess. Let's resolve this. I'm very curious whether or not they're going to defend the city. They may totally just let us have it, right? Yep, no reinforcements. They just gave up. Okay, go get them. Don't need a lot of strategizing on this one. Gosh, lice are so fragile. All right, at this point, I'd be willing to take a truce, wouldn't you? Is Pink still... Why can't I move my map? There we go. Is Pink still providing the pressure? I mean, whatever. It's... I'm sure... I'm so worried about calling the truce too early, though. Because I really, really, really don't want Pink to have any reason to keep pushing down here. Well, Molores looks valuable. It's got an actual adamantine extractor in it, which is a thing we still need. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do truce, and you give me Molores. We can make this happen. Pretty easily, it looks like, actually. So they take the Titan bones. I mean, I can just give them the dust. I don't have a problem with that. Let's just give them the, what, 900-ish dust, it looks like? 915 dust. Really? You can be difficult like this. Just trying to embarrass me in front of everybody. I see how it is. Wow, I'm surprised that the bar... Yeah, that's wild that the bar takes that many clicks to move at all. 943 it is. So we get back... Did that quest expire already? No, okay, we're gonna get back 640 of that right away at the beginning of the next turn. We gained ourselves another city, which is cool. Do I want to do a luxury intensifier on some hydromiel? You know what? Yes. That is a fine use of pearls. Alright, this battle doesn't even need to happen, but I already clicked the thing. So, you know, this is just a quick additional fight. Hopefully I don't end up losing the Irkin here. That would be very, very disappointing. I can't imagine, with their whole army being, what do you call it? Stone Sentinels. I can't imagine that happening. We are almost certainly going to lose some lice here in some really awkward ways, though. Yeah, is what it is. Try to focus on the bulls if we can. My suspicion is that the bulls are just going to dash themselves against us. Sorry, somebody's got to kill you too. All right. Okay, interesting move from a cavalry unit to go out of its way to fight militia. You should read interesting as bad there. What I was saying is that's terrible. Really can't recommend that course of action. Oh wow, and you survived that. You have 8 HP left. Okay, well you could just feel free to retire. I mean, I knew we were going to win. I thought there were going to be some losses. Okay. Well, Pink, I sure hope you can finish the job from here, because I really broke them down for you. Be at war against someone else soon, you know? I just may. That seems like a thing that could happen. So I'm going to come back and prepare to drop into own the territory mode right here real quick. Next turn. You are going to run over and do the same in Naquakik, and it's a lot of distance, but it shouldn't be that hard to cover. We're very fast. I guess this is your next move. You can come and join this army. All right. Okay, I was gonna say I could have sworn we finished another demon somewhere. Just go ahead and fold onto that. There we go. Proper full-size army. This is getting burned to the ground. Okay. Lots and lots and lots of really good work done here. This has been a productive episode. So this information is going to be slightly out of date, but we're on 15 regions. So it's actually going to be 17, right? We took a city in battle and then another one in trade. So we're still 40 regions off of having an expansion victory. It's very hard to imagine that actually working out. Apparently the Mycera are just crushing the necrophages on this front, which is actually amazing. That's really, really good news. And so, yeah, we're gonna get bought in on this war by Pink, hopefully, and that's gonna be another great big gain for us. What are they thinking right now in terms of cost? For me to declare war on Red, really? They don't care that much. I guess they are pretty much correctly assessing the situation, that they do not need us. That's a shame. I hate it when my when the other players are doing a good job of figuring out what's going on. Well, I mean, we don't have to go, right? My big concern, and the reason I was very up on the idea of crushing Red, was because I didn't want them to become the fed necrophage player that conquers the world. But if Pink and the Mycera are going to just contain them, like, we could go up there and get some territory. Auriga has 2 Mithrite extractors. We should play at least a little bit. I was going to say maybe we don't have to put any effort into this at all, but Auriga's right here. It'll be easy enough to claim. Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds like next time stuff, though. I think we are all set here for today, and thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time tomorrow, I guess we're going to be stomping on some bugs and hopefully continuing to accelerate our science machine just as much as we can, because honestly, I'm starting to feel like our pace is looking pretty good here. So come back next time tomorrow and see if we can maintain that, and we'll see you then.